Hey everyone, this is Tinkering with B-Hav, and I'm B-Hav. Today I'm going to show you a few of the lanterns in my collection, some of my older ones, and show you how to find the dates on them and where they are on a few of the different models that I have on lanterns and stoves. All right, so this is the oldest lantern in my collection. It is a November 1928 L220 slant. All right, this one was in pretty bad shape when I found it, and I did my best with it. This was one of the first lanterns I actually bought. So if you look right there, you can see the 8 is 1928 and the 11 is November. So that's November 1928 L220 slant. And the reason they call it a slant is look how the fuel knob is there. It's kind of at an angle. And if you look up in there, the generator is kind of slanted up in there. So that's called a slant. The globe on this is not glass, as you can see. It is mica, okay, and it's flame resistant, doesn't burn, but it's almost like a plastic. So that's what that one is. That's not the original cap on there. That's it. Didn't have one of the originals on there, and I haven't come across one to replace it with yet. Okay, now this is a Canadian lantern. It was made in Canada. It was made by Coleman. They made them in Wichita, Kansas, and I'm not sure what city in Canada, but they also made them in Canada. And this is an April 1936 242B. Okay, so this one kind of has the same kind of logo on the front. And if you look at the date right there, oh, that's 37. I'm sorry, I said 36. There's April of 1937. So that is the month and year. And if you look on there, it says made in Canada. The rest of them I have say made in the United States. So this is a single mantle lantern, and it's in pretty good shape. I restored this one, got it to shine up pretty good. It's got a few fingerprints on it right now and stuff, but that is a good looking lantern, and I have run that one. It burns really bright. If you look at the vent on there, it's a seafoam green as opposed to the hunter green on the other ones. And that's not a Canadian feature, that's just this model. Some of them had that seafoam green vent. All right, and now we're looking at a September 1940 242A is what it says, but I think someone made this lantern out of parts because if you look at the pump here, it doesn't have a hole in it. Okay, that's supposed to be that way for a 242A. Okay, and the collar, if you look at it, it says 242A, right? And the globe, the printing on the globe matches up with what should be on a 242A with that straight line Coleman on the globe like that. Okay, that's all correct. The problem is the fount of this tank, excuse me, the tank has a stamp on the side like this, the big stamp, the sunshine of the night on the side, and 242As did not have that. So the date on this one, you got to look at the bottom of it, excuse me, is right here, and it is September 1940, like the 0 for the 40 and the 9, right? So that's the date on this one, and it is incorrect for the rest other parts of this lantern. So I think somebody put this together and made it, and that's okay. I still like it. I haven't run it yet, but we'll see how it does. It's still a neat looking lantern. I love these 242s. I have a bunch of them. There's a 242 no letter that doesn't have any letter. Then there's an A, a B, and a C. And I have all of them but the no letter, and this A is not correct, but I'm okay with that. Okay, this is my Coleman 530 pocket stove. It is dated B46. Okay, so that means it's the second half of 1946. So they didn't put the month on these, or there's several lanterns they didn't put the month on. They would have a letter indicating the first half or the second half. So that's a 530 pocket stove. And what this was supposed to be, they marketed it as the same thing they would give GIs in the military to put in their backpack. And it works just like any other stove. You put fuel in here, you pump it up, and you can heat up your rations on it or whatever. They marketed it like it was the same one, but it is not. This was just marketed to consumers. This was not the same thing that they sent out to the GIs in World War II. So, and I also have a B46 Coleman 220 lantern here. So this, I love this lantern. It's one of my favorites. It's got a real nice patina on it. You can see the brass from the fount there, and it's worn. This one has seen a lot of use, but I tell you what, I burn it, and it burns really bright. It's a great running lantern. So I'll show you how to find the date on this one. This one is hard to see, but here's the bottom of it, and if you look, right there's the B, and then you come across to this side, and there's the 46. So it's a B46 Coleman 220 lantern. I love that one. I love the patina on it. Okay, some of you may have seen this fount before. This is one I've been polishing on that I just got my parts to put it back together. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to show you how to date this. This is a Coleman 236 kerosene lantern, and they made these lanterns from 1957 to 1969. And as you can see, there is no date anywhere on this. Man, I have looked over this thing with a flashlight sideways, trying to find any hint of a date. And there's nothing up here. Sometimes they're like on the side of that. There'll be a month and a year, and there's nothing there. So I had to look up and find out what years they produced this. And it was from 1957 and 1969. So I couldn't find a date on that. Some of them you can't find a date. They say that they galvanize the bottom of these lanterns, and some of the galvanizing is very heavy, and it fills in the month and the year. So it might be there, and I just can't see it. Okay, so this is a January of 1972 Coleman 228 lantern. This one was in really bad shape when I got it. It was in such bad shape that I had to repaint the fount, and I got a new sticker to put on it. This is the only one I've ever done that to. I've never went that far with them because I do like the look of the patina on them. Some of the ones that are all kind of scuffed up, looks like it's been well used. But this one's a little special. And why do you ask? Well, because my birthday is January 1972. So a lot of people look for what they call their birthday lantern, and I happen to find mine. And if you look on the bottom, it is a January of 1972. So, like I said, this is the only one I've repainted. I probably won't repaint anymore, but I wanted my birthday lantern to look nice and pretty. I'm sure there's other models out there that were made in January of 72, maybe a 200A, which is the red lanterns, the little red one mantles. So I'm looking for one of those, but I haven't found one yet. All right, this is a tank off of a stove. It is not a Coleman stove because Coleman never made them in this color. You can tell by looking at the valve wheel here too that this is off of a Sears stove. Now it is made by Coleman, and they just branded them as Sears, and they painted them different colors. But you can find a Coleman stove that looks exactly the same as a Sears stove, but it's in different colors, and Sears has this star valve wheel on here. So the way you date stoves is you look on the back of the tank, and you look on that tab right there. It's kind of hard to see, but it is a February 1967. Let me see if I can get the light on there a little better. February 1967. The 6 is very faint, and that is on both tabs, February 67. So that's how you date a stove, by looking at the tab on the tank. Here you have two Coleman Model 500 single burner stoves. One is made in Canada and one is made in the United States. They look identical, except for one has the chrome fount and one is the green. So on the chrome fount, you can look, and it is dated. You see it says made in Canada, and there's the year 1939, and it is a B of 39. Okay, and then you come over to the green one, and it says, see how the date is on the opposite side, the year is on the opposite side, 1946, and it's an A. So A46, so the first half of 46 on this one. But for having that many years between them, they both look pretty close to identical. This one I cleaned up really good, but then I ran it the last time I went camping. I used it to make my coffee. It worked really, really well. But this one I still have to go through and restore. Okay, so those are a few of the lanterns out of my collection, and how to find dates on them. So I'm not saying that that's going to show you every scenario of where a date might be on a lantern. Some of them are dated behind the valve wheel. I don't have any that are like that, so I couldn't show you. But if you're out at an antique mall or a flea market somewhere and you pick up a lantern, you should be able to find a date on it. Another thing I wanted to do in this video was I wanted to tell you how much I appreciate all of you watching my videos. I really enjoy making them. I love sharing my love for Coleman lanterns and collecting them and tinkering with them. So if you like what you see, please give me a like and a follow, and feel free to share my videos, share them with all your friends, tell your friends to watch my videos. I really, really appreciate it. So this is Tinkering with B-Hav, and I'm B-Hav. Thanks for watching.